Yeah, well, we just dropped a little line of merch at our gym, just like a logo with some sweaters. I got some students who really like making logos, and they're pretty good at it. So every time we drop a new little piece of merch, we try and change the logo up. And we did something different this time that I thought my students would comment on or notice, and no one did. We changed it so it doesn't say Limitless Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu anymore. It says Limitless Submission Grappling. And I kind of asked one of my students, I'm like, no one commented on this. And they're like, yeah, man, like, why would we comment? We've just known that's what this is for a while now. Like, this wasn't a shocker to anyone. We knew this was coming. Because I really do think it's not jiu-jitsu anymore. Like, with all the content you've done and like all the stuff out there, it's blending these wrestling and judo techniques and even sambo techniques into what already existed with jiu-jitsu. It's not the same thing it was 20, 30 years ago. This is just submission grappling now.
I think the best way to think about it for people is like all these individual martial arts, they're almost like their own games in a sense that have their own constraints, similar to like ecological, like CLA. Like people are going to get better at what constraints they're put under. So like judo, you can't touch the legs, you can't do a lot of stuff. So they're going to get really good at doing what they're doing. And same with sambo, they like, because of their specific rule set, those are constraints. They get really good at those stuff that the stuff that incentivizes them to get good at it. Right. So submission grappling is just grappling with less constraints. And that's why there's all these different techniques pulled from different martial arts, because it's all the same stuff, just less constraints with grappling, with just like with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So that's why it doesn't make sense to really call it Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu anymore, because there's so little constraints that we can take from everything else. I think it can make sense to call gi Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu because there's the belt system, there's there's more rules and whatnot. But no gi, there's way less rules, and there is a belt system, but not really. Like in case in point of purple, brown, and black being together for ADCC, and belts don't really matter in that kind of thing. So yeah, there's just different sports because they have different constraints. So I don't think it should be called Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu anymore. That's also why I didn't call my channel Jordan Teaches Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, not only because it doesn't have a great ring to it, but also because it's just Jiu-Jitsu. So Jiu-Jitsu can just be thought of as just grappling, you know?
No, 100%. I think you're really right about how the rules are just constraints on the game. Like the rules of a sport will change the best practices, but if judo, say like Olympic judo, changed their rules tomorrow to allow grabbing the legs, like, you're lying to yourself if you think everyone would just be doing the same techniques and no one would be trying to just blast double people across the mat. Like, the rules change what techniques are practical within that rule set, because it favors, like, you have to do this. Like, there's a reason wrestlers can't play guard, and it's because you'll get pinned. Well, if you added pinning in jiu-jitsu, people wouldn't play guard either because they'll just lose. I mean, the rules change what moves make sense, what moves are good, what moves are bad. But ultimately, like in our gym, we try to train for a variety of rule sets. Like, we want to build these skills. We do wrestling rounds. We'll do jiu-jitsu rounds. Like we said, we'll use the constraints to take certain things away that you could normally do, because I want to make them good grapplers, not good jiu-jitsu athletes. I want to make you guys good at grappling. In an ideal world, I want my guys to be able to enter a wrestling tournament and do well. I want them to be able to enter a judo tournament and do well, or a sambo tournament and do well. I just want them to be able to grapple. And now, of course, they'll have to look at the rules and go, okay, what can I and can I not do for this rule set? But the rule set shouldn't matter. Like, if you're really a good grappler, the rule set does not matter.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like, I want to get good at wrestling and judo because I just want to become a better grappler, you know? And I don't view those like as different sports necessarily, like they are, but it's just because of the constraints. And it could be a good reason why it's good to train at a judo gym, like do some rounds there, or a wrestling gym, because you get to train with people that that are under those constraints all the time. So like they're really good at what they do. And yeah, then you can improve too and use it within your jiu-jitsu. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the things, like, I compete all the time in jiu-jitsu, but I'm trying to, if the date works out well, there's a wrestling tournament locally that has an open division. So, not like any age can do it. I think I'm going to try it. I'm going to try a wrestling tournament and see how it goes. I mean, it might go really badly. I might lose, but that's fine. I just want to try it and see what it's like. And I think honestly that would be a cool little video to take, like do a little documentary series or something about, like, because you see all these things about wrestlers trying jiu-jitsu and doing well. Like, can it go the other way?